They say the scariest monsters don't always hide in forests, cemeteries, or abandoned castles. Sometimes, the darkest evil comes dressed in robes of holiness, speaking the language of salvation, but offering nothing but hell. This is the true story of a religious cult that began with prayers and promises of paradise, but ended with screams buried deep beneath the earth. In a quiet American town, a man who called himself Pastor Luke began to draw attention. His voice had a strange magnetism. When he read the scriptures, people felt chills down their spines. He claimed the world was nearing its end, and only those who followed him would enter the tent of God. Slowly, people started leaving their lives behind, their homes, jobs, even families, just to be with him on a secluded ranch that he called the Camp of Salvation. At first, it all seemed pure. Morning prayers, night worship, women covered in white, men in silence, children learning hymns. It was like a community of saints. But things began to shift. Luke one day declared he had received a vision from God, that in order to cleanse humanity, certain sacrifices had to be made. At first, people thought he meant animals, but then he said that Satan had entered the souls of some children, and slowly, those children began to disappear. No one was allowed to speak. Anyone who questioned was branded as a tool of the devil. Some parents cried, begged, even screamed. But they were locked in dark rooms as punishment, starved for days until their minds broke. Some went mad, some died. But those who remained believed. Their eyes glazed over with devotion. Luke was their savior. Everything he did was God's will. One day, a teenage girl named Ella, who had come to the camp with her mother, suddenly vanished. Luke told the group she had been sent to heaven, but her mother wasn't convinced. Something was wrong. That night, trembling, she crept behind Luke's private tent and saw a hidden door. Through a small crack in the wooden wall, what she witnessed shattered her soul. Her daughter was locked in a dark cellar, bruised, naked, unconscious, and Luke, the holy man, had been using her in the name of divine purification. Ella's mother barely held herself together. The next night, under the cover of darkness, she escaped, walking miles to reach the nearest police station. The officers were skeptical. Luke was considered a man of God, but still they agreed to investigate. When they raided the camp, hell opened its gates. Multiple graves were uncovered, bodies of children, some missing their eyes, others burned. There was a hidden dungeon beneath the chapel, where girls were chained, barely alive, their eyes staring blankly into space, as if their souls had long departed. Luke was arrested, but his face showed no remorse. He calmly said, "I only followed God's command. You don't understand. I came to save them." In court, evidence poured in. Videos, testimonies, survivors who found the courage to speak. Luke was sentenced to life imprisonment, but shockingly, many of his followers still believed he was innocent. To them, the world was blind, and only the faithful could see the truth. Today, the ranch lies abandoned. Bloodstains still linger on its walls. At night, some say the cries of children echo through the empty chapel. Locals whisper that something still lives there, something not of this world. This story revealed a horrifying truth. When religion, blind faith, and unchecked power reside in the hands of a single man, the greatest devil is not a mythical beast, but a human being who believes he is God.